All right, Dolores. So we're out here walking with Dolores again.
Yeah.
And today the big question is, does hydrogen help you lose weight? Now, according to the science, it appears to be the case. But in the real world, let's ask Dolores, because this was actually a really interesting question. As I've been noticing you riding around, I kept thinking, wait a second, you look like you've lost weight. And some people were like, it does kind of appear to be the case.
Yeah.
But then I kept asking you, and you kept saying that you haven't even checked your weight, right?
Right. I don't do it all the time.
And here, I'm
Check
trying to
it.
keep the lights off of you. And then I kept asking you, I kept bugging you actually about it. I was like, have you checked your weight? Have you checked your weight? And you were like, no. And then you surprised me like, hey, I checked my weight.
I did.
And do you want to share with people what it was?
I have lost close to 30 pounds.
Which
and the
is-
only thing I've been doing is drinking the hydrogen.
And that to me was absolutely bonkers. Almost 30 pounds in roughly about 3 months.
Yeah.
And you even took off like, what was it, like 2 or 3 weeks or something?
Yeah, about 2 weeks, well, 3 weeks altogether when my kids were here, and then got back on it again. And it just fills you up is the only reason I can, because I sure in the heck didn't change my eating habits.
Yeah, if I recall, you didn't change any. I was even bugging you about it. I was like, hey, are you going to quit drinking soda or something?
Yeah.
And you're like,
Well, I have cut back on the soda, but as far as sweets, I'm a sweet person. What can I say? But I still try and eat healthy, even though I like the other things. But the appetite was really gone, and I think that's just because of the hydrogen that I was drinking. Because I definitely don't drink enough plain water.
well, you know what's interesting? I don't know if you're aware of this. Hydrogen shows to affect a hormone in your stomach called ghrelin, which is something that typically happens when you're fasting. So when you drink the hydrogen water, it appears to put your body almost like into a fasting mode and can potentially suppress hunger.
Well,
Have you felt suppression of hunger?
well, I've never felt
Okay.
hungry. I'm sorry. I'm one of those people. People will say, well, you only eat when you're hungry. Well, if that was the case, I'd never eat.
Okay.
Yes. And I'm not necessarily a grazer, but yeah, I do like the meals. Pancakes, waffles, those are my favorite. But I like to have the bacon and the sausage along with those too. But and I did even measure how much my glasses held of water that I drank.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm drinking a cup and a half of water every time I do the hydrogen.
Oh, okay.
So
Were you following the protocol that I had shared with you that I had kind of developed?
to a degree, yes, I
degree.
do it in the morning. I do it before I eat, and that's why I was wondering how much water was I actually drinking, because I think you had said something like 4 ounces or 8 ounces or something like that. And I measured my glass just the other night, and both of the two that I use, which are 2 different styles, are close to a cup and a half. One is a cup and a half, and the other is just a tad under. So.
Okay, because if I remember correctly too, oh here, hold on, we're back. Now if I remember correctly, because see, I gave you some tips as far as like a protocol, like that I would follow.
Yeah.
And then when I was talking to you, you were following it for the most part. There are a few times like you started not doing as much inhalation, but then you'd kind of go off and on. And all that
Yeah,
kind of stuff.
I was doing pretty good on the breathing of it until my kids got here, and for some reason, I guess I just like the cold water, even though you told me I could make ice cubes out
yeah.
of the hydrogen, and I have done that. In fact, I got myself even surprised because I like cold water when I drink it. And I was drinking it, and all of a sudden I'm looking at it and I'm going, there's bubbles coming out of it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because I was mentioning how
Yeah.
the hydrogen can get trapped in the ice.
Yeah.
So that's
And-
kind of interesting little.
Yeah, and I just
observation.
thought, whoa, I guess there is hydrogen in this ice water. It's just not ice.
So the amazing part in the end was, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you pretty much didn't change your diet, I would say almost at all,
True.
or your habits, except for the hydrogen protocol,
Yes.
which you probably followed to about 80-90% of what I was suggesting.
Yes.
And then maybe even backed off a little more than that, so you followed it to about 70-80% because you quit doing the inhalation.
Yeah.
But you followed it for the most part.
Yes, and I am getting back into the inhalation just because I've noticed some things starting to come back again.
Ah, okay, so you are noticing.
And to me, I think of that as a negative. So
Yeah,
doing it had a positive health effect.
yeah. That's actually a really good observation because I noticed that too. When people back off, things can start coming back.
Yeah.
I have noticed that with my father too. In fact, he was just telling me, I was going to do a video about it. He was telling me, he's like, I'll tell you, if it wasn't for this hydrogen, he thinks he'd be halfway down dementia, Alzheimer's hill, because that runs in my family. And my dad, in my opinion, would definitely already have dementia by now.
Yeah.
And he said it's made such a difference. He's actually quite sharp, which is not normal for our family.
Yes, dementia runs on my dad's side and on my mother's side. So that's there too.
Yep.
And I've noticed my memory from when I was working has just went downhill. But then you have to have more of a memory when you're working than when you're not. So.
Absolutely. So, we'll continue to share with everybody what's going on. But the biggest thing on this video was the weight loss was unbelievable. Almost 30 pounds. That's crazy.
Yes.
I mean, I just think that's absolutely insane. So
yeah, I went
that's
from being real tight in one size to being a size smaller and being loose. So it's a plus.
So we'll hopefully you'll keep up with the protocols.
Yes.
And we'll be following up with you, as many of the viewers seem to be very interested in your progress. So, all right, guys, if you're enjoying the videos, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to comment below, subscribe, and we'll keep you posted on Dolores' progress as time goes by, and hopefully she'll stick with the protocols, and it seems like she will. So,
Yeah.
all right, guys.
Yeah. Thank
Till
you.
next time.
Bye.
Bye.